If you're new to the Paruu P10 and wondering how to use it, then stick around. In this video, I'll walk you through all the different components that make up this wearable breast pump, how to assemble them, and of course, how to use the Paruu P10 wearable breast pump. So let's get started and take a quick look at the different components. Now, one of the great things about this pump is there are very minimal parts to it. There are, in fact, only 5 parts to this wearable breast pump. We have your duckbill valve. Now, this is for ensuring that your milk goes from your flange into the collection cup without backflowing. You have your diaphragm. Now, this sits on the top here. This is for preventing your milk going back to your pump motor. Obviously, you have your collection cup. This is where all your milk pools. You have your flange, which sits flush against your breast during your pumping. Then you have your pump motor. Now, this is what creates and drives the suction, as well as has your control panel. So how does this all go back together? Simply take your duckbill valve. We want to insert this at this little opening in the inside of our collection cup. Make sure this sits nice and flush. I like to also align the flat side with the base of the collection cup. Now, really important to make sure all your parts are nice and securely sealed. If there are any gaps between the parts, that can lead to loss of suction as well as potential leaks. Now, with your diaphragm, you will notice on here that you have your angular edge. This faces towards your flange. So make sure that slides in nicely. You'll also see there is a lip on the top of your diaphragm. You need to make sure that this sits over the hard plastic of the collection container. Really important. They've got a warning on here. So it's obviously been one where they've had a few issues with customers having problems. Okay, so next we're going to take the flange and insert that end here into your collection container. Now you'll see up the top there is a little cutout. This goes where your pouring spout is. So we're going to want to line this up roughly in the right place. Push it in so it goes, the flange tunnel is connected. Then we're going to want to give it a nice firm push once we have it nice and lined. Then we're going to take the edging of your flange, lift it up and over the hard lip of your collection container. Now this just clips in, push it in. You can see here that I'm just pushing this in as I go around. Then run your fingers firmly around. This is where you get a lot of the potential for leaks if it isn't in place properly. And finally, we're going to attach our pump motor. You can see here there's a space for where the diaphragm sits. This simply pushes into place. That is your assembled Paruu P10. So let's take a look at the different settings of this pump. First of all, you have your minus and your plus. Now these are for increasing or decreasing your suction levels. There are 9 suction levels on this pump. Then you have your power button. It also doubles up as your mode button. So when we turn this on, you hold it for 3 seconds. Again, to turn it off, you hold it for 3 seconds. Now this will start in the last setting that you had it, and it will start in a pause mode. So to activate it, you simply press the minus or the plus, depending on what level you are on, and then your pump will start. If you press the mode button, it will simply switch you to the next mode option. So to have a look at the modes, we have, let me click through, we have the double a droplet, this is just stimulation. These are really short, quick suctions, and these are for initiating your letdown. Next, you have the singular droplet, which is longer suctions. These are for for drawing out your breast milk. Then we have the mixed mode. Now, this starts with 8 quick, short suctions followed by a long, slow sucking pattern. And then we have one more, which is your dual frequency mode. Now, this is really for mums that have inverted nipples. It starts really slow and then builds up to a higher suction with a pause and then a release. So if you've got inverted nipples, this is a great way to help with your output. So how does this all work? Firstly, if we are going to start our pumping session, we are going to want to make sure that our flange size is suitable. So this comes with a 28mm flange. You can also see here that they have provided a nipple measurement tool, which is fantastic, and I highly recommend before you start pumping that you use this to measure your nipple size. And we want to make sure that this flange diameter here is suitable for your nipple, because if it is too small or too large, you're going to cause damage to your nipple. It's going to be uncomfortable and you're not going to get the right output that you are hoping for. So measure your nipple. The great thing with the Paruu is it also comes with 3 different sized inserts. You have a 24mm, a 21 and a 19mm. If these do not suit, then I recommend you go and get a sizing that is correct for you. These simply slide into your flange, and their purpose is to reduce this tunnel size down to the sizing of your insert. So once we have our correct flange insert size, we are going to want to line up our nipple centrally in the flange. Once we have that lined up, we're going to secure our pump to our breast with a firm fitting pumping bra. You don't want this to be loosey-goosey in your bra, because we're relying on the suction between the flange and your breast. As I said before, any air leaks, and it's going to reduce your suction and output. So make sure this is in nice and securely. Also to note, this is your pouring spout. So if you are bending right over, you'll probably end up with milk leaking. So although you've got a good range of movement, make sure that your pouring spout isn't tipping over. Okay, so we are going to want to run our pumping session. So initially around 2 minutes until on the expression mode, until your letdown kicks in, and then you can switch to either the expression mode for your pumping session or the 2-in-1. Have a play around with it, because every body is different. What your body responds to is going to be different to somebody else. So have a play around and see what patterns work best for you. Some people find 5 minutes on the expression, on the stimulation, and then 5 minutes on the expression, and then swapping back. It really just depends. Others might find that they get a better output with the mixed mode. So have a play around, record your outputs after each session and your settings, and then you can really determine what works best. Again, with your suction levels, start on the lower end and then work your way up. Don't just start on the 9 thinking that it's the strongest suction, I'm going to get the best output, because it really depends on your comfort level as well. So start low and then work your way up until you find a suction strength that feels comfortable and gives you a great output. Now, you're going to want to pump for around 15 to 20 minutes generally. Again, everybody's different. Once you have finished your pumping session, you're going to lean forward slightly. You're going to want to break this seal with your finger and then remove your pump. You don't want to just rip this because you're going to rip your nipple off with it. So break your seal, remove your pump. Now we're going to want to remove our pump motor, and then you can pour your milk into your storage container. The one great thing about these is it does have a flat base, so you can lay it flat while you're removing the milk from one pump and the other. Next, we're going to want to make sure that any of the parts that have come in contact with the breast milk, so your diaphragm, your collection container, your flange, duckbill valve, your flange insert, you're going to want to pull all of these apart. They are going to need to be cleaned after each use. Your pump motor does not come in contact with breast milk. Do not submerge this in water or you will destroy it. If it has a splash of milk or a little bit dirty, just a dry cloth or a damp cloth if you need, just to wipe it off. Your parts here, they will need to be washed in warm soapy water after each use, unless you're using the fridge hack method, and then rinsed and dried on a clean cloth. They also need to be sanitized at least once a day. Now, Paruu recommend the boiling method, so boiling the parts in boiling water for 5 minutes. They don't mention anything about dishwasher safe or a steam sterilizer, so use that cautiously at your own discretion. You also have a USB-C charger for each pump in your kit. There is a little charging port on the side, so you simply push that in, making this look hard. It's always harder on camera. You simply push that in, plug that in for your USB charging. I like to charge it after every 1 or 2 pumps, at least once a day, so it's ready for when you need to pump next. The other thing included in your kit, you do have a dust-proof cover. So once you have it all cleaned and sterilized, you can add that on just to help keep it protected while it's in your storage. Other than that, that is the Paruu P10. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll do my very best to answer. Cheers.